welcome to the vlog about the 18 books I read in July. Just to start off, if I'm in a bad mood, it's because one or two of these series put me in a really bad book slump. Well, not a book slump. Nothing can put me in a book slump, but like a really bad mood. We'll get there, don't you worry. I must say, practically every book is dark romance. Okay, so the first two books were from, I forgot what the series was called, the Vile House series, and I read the first two books that are out, Sick Bargain and Fragile Facade. I rated Sick Bargain 4 stars and Fragile Facade 4.5 stars. Fragile Facade was just a lot more my vibe. Anyway, okay, so the Vile House world, it's like this dark gothic sort of, it's everything. This town is everything, and it's like creepy, and there are lots of cults and like organizations, and the biggest one is the Vile Boys. So they're in the Vile House. There are 10 of them and they're all masked. Okay, so you go to the Vile House and you trade your life in a bargain. It's gorgeous. It's chef's kiss. The vibe, immaculate, and all 10 of the Vile Boys are like psychotic, and all of them have like a different mental condition. Well, they're not all different, but like all of them have a mental condition. Oh, we love all trauma. Oh, there's so much trauma. Okay. And the Vile House is like connected to an insane asylum, so some of the Vile Boys are in the insane asylum, but like they just go around murdering people, and it's great. And the Vile House initiation, if you're outside in the streets during the initiation, your life is forfeit. Let's just say that. Okay, anyway, specifically books. Okay, Sick Bargain, the main, these are both MM. I think the whole series is yes, we love. Okay, so Remy is like, okay, so the Sorters have like a suicide curse. So every male in the line has committed suicide. And Remy is trying to outrun this curse, but he is like a stalker that's trying to make him commit suicide. So that's horrible. And he goes to the Vile House to make a bargain in exchange for 3 people's lives with Purple Mask, which is the other main male lead. Okay, and it's, the vibe of this book is a lot of dominant submissive. If that's your thing, I mean, like, I'm just remembering how absolutely bonkers and crazy and unhinged this series was, and I loved it, and I absolutely loved it. But I did like Fragile Facade a lot more. This is between 2 of the Vile Boys. One of them is Ghost and Riot. Ghost is the teal mask and Riot is the white mask, which I really think Ghost should be white mask, but okay, it's fine, I guess. This is I was gonna say a little bit of a spoiler, but their dynamic is a lot more enemies to lovers, like enemies like trying to kill each other to lovers, and like some of the scenes actually shut up, and there's a lot of trigger warnings, so make sure you read those before you read this series. But I loved, and halfway through this book it kind of took on more of a dystopian vibe, because they have to like infiltrate this facility, and it was amazing, but like we love. And the 2 main characters, one of them is a sociopath and the other one is a narcissist. We love the representation. Okay, so that's that series. Should I do quotes? Yeah, I'm gonna do quotes. Wait, back up. Okay, Sick Bargain. My quote for Sick Bargain: madness is of the mind. To experience sanity, I must free myself from my mind. A full break, shut it off and live without it. I loved that scene. Okay. Fragile Facade quote: pain, even the emotional kind, feels good. It's an onslaught of emotions I can't hide from. And when everything in my life feels so pathetic because I'm the most powerful thing, I love losing myself in my weakness, my feelings, fears, and insecurities. I feel like that's what reading is. It's the good kind of emotional pain. Because it's not your emotional pain, it's someone else's, but like it's so good and it feels like your emotional pain. Yeah. And the next was the Hawthorne University series, which is another unfinished romance series. What am I doing to myself? Okay, the first one, Like You Hate Me. The second one, Don't Say You're Sorry. Don't Say You're Sorry came out really recently. I think it's gonna be like oh, actually I have no idea. Don't take my word on that, but these two books are both MM. And honestly, they were both like had a really similar vibe. So I would recommend spacing the two reads out, but I read them back to back. So it was kind of really repetitive for me, but it was still really, really fucking enjoyable. Oh my god. I rated the first one 5 stars. We love that for us. This is again dark romance, but one of the main male characters is like a basketball player, so sports romance as well. Okay, so this is wow. Okay. Zavi and Nate. Nate's younger sister and Zavi were best friends, but Zavi was like into drugs and kind of got his sister into drugs, and then his sister died of overdose. So that was horrible, and they're both so broken about it, and so like Nate hates Zavi, and Zavi feels like he deserves the hate, so he like keeps coming back to Nate to like punish himself, and he doesn't let himself do drugs anymore because he's not allowed to feel. He like has to feel, or his emotion is like a punishment for himself, which is very fucking toxic, but we loved the recovery through this book. We loved. And one of my favorite aspects of this book is Zavi and Nate's sister who died had a bucket list together. And Nate's sister was going to do all of it while she was blind. So Zavi goes around fulfilling the bucket list with a blindfold on. And it's everything, and I loved it, and it was so good. Obviously the 5-star rating kind of, you know, says it all, but they were both 3.5 like spice ratings. All of these, most of my books are high spice ratings. Let's be fucking real. Okay, and then Don't Say You're Sorry. Okay, Like You Hate Me quote. Everything hurts on the inside anyway, so it's kind of nice to feel some pain on the outside again. Like, girl, oh no. Okay, Don't Say Sorry, 4.5 stars. Probably would have been a 5 stars if I'd put it apart. This was definitely a case of reading it at the wrong time, but it was still so good. Step Brothers. Okay. I feel like anyone who's read For the Fan is an MM lover. Step Brothers is great. Step Brothers is great. Okay, so this is definitely a second chance romance because they were together when they were like 18-ish. Okay, and this connects to the first book because Zavi, Nate, Eston, and Carter, and a girl all live in like this mansion, and they all go to college, I think. Don't take my word on that. Okay. And then Eston is the main character, one of the main characters of this book, and his stepbrother Adam. They were both together, but then family circumstances. Oh, this if you hate miscommunication, this is not the book for you. This book, but it was not. It was more sad than frustrating. No, I was more sad than angry. I was still very frustrated, but like it was more sad than anything else because it had like already happened. Yeah, I wrote here like the miscommunication was heartbreaking. Like, oh. So anyway, something happened, and then Adam went to London for 3 years, and then he comes back and practically like begs Easton to go back with him, and it's like a mixture of past POVs and present POVs, and oh my god, it was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. And the found family, like, because of the first book and this book is I love found family. Found family is everything. Okay. The quote: you would have buried it and put all of us above yourself forever if you had to. I wanted to put you first for once. I choose you. Get you someone who will say things to you like that. The series that broke me. Here we fucking go. Okay, everything in the next two series was 5 stars. Amazing. So I'm gonna cry just thinking. Human trafficking. Just putting that out there. So the first trilogy was called These Monstrous Deeds, and it follows wonderful. Okay, one couple, we'll start with this one. Oh my god. Where is it on my bookshelves? I think it's just over there. God. As you can see, I'm still very broken up about it. Okay, Carter's oh my god, Carter's brother. Mason. Mason was like a lead operative in an organization that aims to bring down human trafficking rings. But he was using a false name, so when his real identity was discovered, and it was like discovered that he had a brother, the brother was kidnapped. Carter, the main male character of these 3 books, and put into human trafficking as a sex slave. These are all women, by the way. Just fuck. It was so horrible, but it's like a train wreck you can't look away from. It was like beautiful, but like so horrible, so disgusting, and I'm there isn't even fucking words. Like, okay, anyway, it starts from when Carter first gets kidnapped. That's like where it starts. Yeah. And it doesn't have a happy ending, so that's what got me through this fucking series. Okay, I read each of these books in one day. I was really fucking going at it. The other female character is Nathan. So he is an operative with Mason, but he's undercover as a sex trafficker, and he's like a leader of like a massive ring, and he has sex slaves. So Mason begs Nathan to buy Carter, so like they make sure Carter doesn't like die, and like minimizes his it's so horrible what happens to these boys, and I'm like, okay, what happens in this series is so horrible, like so horrible. Just be prepared to be fucking broken, and definitely read your trigger warnings. This is so, what happens in this book is devastating. Like, there are no words. What happens? Casey?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
So this is like a Harry Potter quote, and this is what Nathan says, because Nathan's gonna fall in love with Carter, because obviously. Okay. Nathan asks Benny, which is another undercover and like Nathan's second, am I the villain? Meaning Snape. If you know, you know. Benny's expression softens. Oh, Nathan, you're a goddamn hero. I was bawling my eyes out when I heard this thing. Yeah. Okay, the second. Okay, I think that's all I'm gonna say about that, because I don't want to spoil the series, but then it's A Dangerous Game and One Last Time. But I'll read the quotes. I'll read the quotes. And obviously these were all 5 stars. I think I did 4 spice ratings for all of them. Okay. The quote for A Dangerous Game, which is the second one. Daffodils. If you have read even the first book of the series, you know daffodils. Daffodils, the white kind with the orange-red colours that look like flames blooming. Carter carefully, oh so carefully, touches a single fingertip to a petal. It's soft and wet and impossibly fragile. That for me was like a representation of like him. I'm like, all these other sex living is just like. Okay, the last book in this trilogy is quote, I was pissed at him for fucking you. You don't get to be pissed about that. It's my body. You don't get a say in what I do with it. No one does. Not ever again. Like, come on, like. Okay. And then after this series, there's another trilogy called Monstrous Survivors, and it's characters from the first series but with their own books. The first book is an interconnected standalone, and it follows Casey and Jake. Casey. And if you know, it starts from after, well, during the party from the first book in the Monstrous Deeds trilogy from Casey's POV. So Casey's a sex slave, and Jake/Benny is the operative. Well, Nathan's like second from the first trilogy. And just a warning, this book does have a daddy king, and I'm personally not a fan, but like this author explains everything so well, so beautifully. Like, I don't trust with many authors because it's so hard. It's so easy to make me cringe, but this author does everything perfectly. And if you want revenge for everything that happens in these Monstrous Deeds, this is the book. This is the book for that, because Casey gets his revenge. Okay, the quote for this one is, my dad always told me that a grown man who won't quiet isn't a man. There's not a damn thing wrong with emotions, son, he always said. They're what make us human. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, and I love how, like, because I feel like there's a lot of toxic masculinity, and that was beautiful compared to. Okay, and then the other two. Okay, the second book in this trilogy follows Mason and Nolan. Mason is Carter's brother. Mason might be my favorite character out of this whole series, I gotta say. This is called Pieces of Us. Well, Casey and Jake's was called Drowning You. Okay, the second book is Pieces of Us, Mason and Nolan. Okay, Nolan is a sex slave that was saved from the same compound as Carter. And he's been as a sex slave for 3 years. Oh my god. Anyway, what happens to Mason? I think I needed a good cry, so this is really nice. Again, these are all 5-star reads. Okay, so Nolan liked the idea of being like, obviously with his consent before he was a sex slave, he like liked the idea of it. Well, not liked, really fucking wanted it for himself. But then like being forcibly turned into one, obviously his relationship with us now is really hard, and there's so much therapy in this book and so much recovery. And Mason as well, like the way he like self-harms in this book is so horrible. And he's the type of person who will compare his struggles to others and go, obviously my struggles were nothing in comparison, so I need to make myself suffer more. And it's just horrible. It's just so horrible. And this is like beautiful, beautiful. Okay, the quote. Kintsugi is a pottery technique, sorry. The whole idea is to show that the broken parts are the beautiful ones. So it's like this thing, when a piece of poetry breaks, instead of throwing it out or gluing it back together, they fill in the cracks with gold. I mean, isn't that just so fucking beautiful? So fucking beautiful. Okay, the third book in this trilogy is Mason, Nolan, and Hunter. Hunter, nothing to do with human trafficking, but he's like the dom to Mason's switch and Nolan's sub, and it's everything. This book, 6-star read, might be my favorite read of the whole fucking year. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And Mason's character growth in this, stunning. Simply stunning. It's like 700 pages. I finished in one day. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And the way Hunter helps heal these two, like, quote, I knew he'd take on the world if it meant protecting me from it. No one has ever protected me like that before. Okay, so honestly, those are the 6 books that were just like amazing, incredible, horrifying, devastating, disgusting, amazing, beautiful. And then I'm still feeling it, obviously, if you couldn't tell. Okay, moving on. I never will, but in this video, moving the fuck on. I started Divergent. Tris? Okay, queen. Okay, girl queen. Okay, can you guys, like... Maybe I'll shuffle over. She's just sitting in the sun like the gorgeous little thing she is. Hello. Okay. Divergent. Okay. I only read Divergent and Insurgent this month, and I'm currently in the middle of 4, which is like a novella, which I think I'm gonna read before I read Allegiant. Anyway, Divergent and Insurgent. I rated Divergent and Insurgent. I think I rated them both 4.5 stars. Okay. Why dystopian science fiction? Okay, we loved. Okay, so in this world there are 5 factions: erudite, smart people; amity, kind people; candor, truthful people; dauntless, I want to say barbarians. Yeah, let's go with that. Like, they're just like war, battle. And abnegation, selfless. I can't hate the abnegation. Like, imagine people who do charity, those sort of people. Yeah, or like volunteer work. Yeah, so everyone is in a faction until they're, well, born into a faction, and then when they're 16. So yeah, 16, and then they do test that tells them what faction they're most suited for. And when Tris does this test, she gets like an inconclusive, while she belongs to more than one faction, and so she is a Divergent. And honestly, in my opinion, Divergent in this series means neurodivergent in the real world. That's just me probably self-projecting, but what the fuck ever, okay? And that's a really dangerous thing to be right now. Anyway, I was about to say what faction she ended up choosing, but at the choosing ceremony, you choose a faction to live the rest of your life in. Tris and Insurgent finally gets this, Tris at the end of Insurgent, Chef's kiss, amazing female main character. The character development is insane. We love her. We love Triss. Oh, I don't know if she's gonna be called Beatrice from now on, but like for now we love Triss. Okay, quote from Divergent. Oh, by the way, I totally saw the ending of Divergent coming. Just saying, making me feel really smart. Oh, okay. And the spice rating is like 1. It's like only kisses. Ugh. Okay, quote. No one is perfect, I whisper. It doesn't work that way. One bad thing goes away and another comes, and another bad thing replaces it. Truth. In my opinion, truth. Okay. And then Insurgent. Quote. There is always something to learn. Always something that is important to understand. That is something I live by. That is something I live by. That is why I read books we love. Breakaway. Okay. So this is from the same author as These Monstrous Deeds and Monstrous Survivors. Fuck. I needed more of her. Amazing author. So I found another book. Thought it was a standalone, but it's actually part of like this 10-book sports romance series, I think. And it's like 10 different authors wrote the 10 different books. So one of them was written by her. She goes like by 2 names, TJ Hamill, which is what she wrote These Monsters. And then Taylor McNiff is where she published it. Well, where she published the name. You get it. The name under which she published These Monstrous Survivors and this book, Breakaway, as well as a trilogy called The Kallenberg Veterans. Anyway, which I've started the first book and I'm like halfway through it, but then I was just like, I can't do this shit anymore because that one's another one on sex trafficking. I'm just like, oh, my soul can't take the shit. Anyway, Breakaway is about a hockey player with like severe depression, and we loved it. We loved the representation, and it's an MF. You couldn't guess. 4.75 star rating. It was amazing. She just really knows how to write and make it like not offensive to me anyway at all, and making it so good. She explains everything so well, and she's just such a good author for me, and I'm just loving her book. So that's why I've gone into her back catalogue, and we're living pretty much. Okay, then I listened to the 6th Harry Potter book. I'm currently nearly finished the 7th one. That is my jacket, yeah. And I'm also listening to Lights Out, which has been very fucking amazing and fun, and you can just hear me giggling constantly. Yeah, that's my back. That is my back. Oh. Come here, you. Okay. So that was great. And then I've read light novel volumes 3, 4, 5, and 6 of Secrets of the Silent Witch. So the anime started airing, and I fucking love. So I started reading the light novel. Great, amazing, stunning. Oh yeah, we should probably do a quick little summary. Okay, so Secrets of the Silent Witch is a fantasy world. The main character, well, okay, so there are 7 sages, and they're like the highest level of mage in the kingdom, and the main character is one of them. She was instated at 15 years old. She's now 17 or 16, unsure. Anyway, she has such bad social anxiety that she couldn't chant spells in front of anyone. So she invents silent magecraft where you don't have to chant. And she's the first person ever, well, human ever, to achieve it. And she's like so smart, and we love her. And then like side characters are also really fun and interesting. Anyway, the main plot of this book series is she was living in the woods. Love that for her, with a cat. If you've read as far as I have, you would know not a fucking cat. Anyway, okay, so one of her fellow mages comes to get her and forces her to take on a mission at a university to look after the second prince because people are trying to kill him. Like, I was about to say every episode in the anime, which is very true, but like every book in the light novel, every chapter, but like, you get the idea. He's being targeted a lot, and Monica, like, that's her name, Monica Everett, but like, and it's just called Monica Norton anyway. She protects him, and it's great because she's just so socially awkward, and then she's slaying dragons, and it's great. It's so great. She's such a badass. We love Monica. So that was fun. Yeah, those are the 18 books I read in July.
Call the cops.
No.
What do you mean, no?
I mean, no. You want to hear it in Spanish? No.
Dylan O'Ryan, the person who plays Dad Slinsky, is the main character in the Maze Runner movies, so that's some incentive. Oh yeah, and also Shadow Moon's coming out soon. I'm so excited. Okay. Am I avoiding doing this? Yes, I am. Is it due today? Yes, it is. Is it 12 o'clock? Yes, it is. Fuck. Actually, I really gotta go get on that. So, bye-bye.